Captain's Log Supplemental. Nothing makes me appreciate just how big our ships are than when communication breaks down in some kind of novel way. We're in a nebula that we're going to be in for a few weeks at this point. It is emitting some kind of strange radiation, which is interfering with electromagnetism or something. I'm not a physicist. I don't really understand. But basically what it means is light and other light-based signals can't travel past about 10 to 15 feet from their source. Not generally a big deal, except that all of our communications, short range, don't go through subspace, they go through the spectrum. So we can't talk to each other, and we can't even send any kind of like light messages to each other across the whole of the ship. So I have a bunch of crewmen and ensigns doing a Pony Express-esque activity between each of the decks where, they will take messages to and from engineering, from the bridge. It's going to be a long couple of weeks. But at least I'm getting my steps in.
Welcome back, everybody, to Captain's Log Supplemental. As always, I am Chris, and I'm joined by my friend Stanford.
Hey, that's me.
Rob.
Hello.
And Mariah.
Hi there.
So, yeah.
You sound so excited.
I just realized I don't have any banter.
Don't worry about it. I got it. First of all, this is Captain's Log Supplemental. We watch Star Trek every week. Doing kind of a
hey,
rewatch.
I can do that part. Shut your fucking face. Okay. I can do that part.
All right.
Well, I mean, you weren't doing that part.
I'm doing banter first.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not doing banter first. I want to do the banter first.
Well, we just got back from the Adirondacks.
Fuck yeah, we did.
Did you get to sit in the Adirondack chairs?
I did sit in one, yes. But Matthew only sits in one chair and one chair only.
One chair only. Which I think, while my wheelchair is in the Adirondacks, it's an Adirondack chair. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense. Yeah. Any chair in the Adirondacks is an Adirondack chair.
That's right.
Did you swap out your very comfortable seat cushion for some slatted wood sticks?
Oh, actually,
at a horrible slant.
That raises the question, honey. Did you sit in the Adirondack chair on a slope as they are apparently intended?
Not really. It was on the beach.
Oh, so it was still uncomfortable for you? I've heard rumor has
it wasn't bad.
Rumor has it that if you put them on the proper slope, they actually are comfortable. That's what they're designed to do because it's mountainous in the Adirondacks.
You cut out there. What are you saying?
Because it's mountainous in the Adirondacks, so if you put them on the proper slope, apparently they are comfortable.
Interesting.
Now, this is not something I can test, so I will just assume it's correct. But yeah, we were at Lake Champlain. My family wanted to go to Vermont, and we found a house that could see Vermont across the lake.
Good enough.
So
we looked at Vermont the whole time.
Except for the last day where there was this badass fog covering the opposite bank. It was fucking sweet.
I do have to say though, I don't know if you all have ever heard of Champ. That is the monster in Lake Champlain.
Wait. I want to hold on because I want to describe for you in the words of Wikipedia this monster in its description because we're telling you right now there is a Lake Champlain monster, right, that they all go for. What is your initial assumption as to what this monster is like?
I would assume it's some type of Nessie type creature.
I think that it's a largemouth bass with googly eyes.
Okay, one of you is really close.
Oh no.
And it's not who you think. Quote Wikipedia, in 1609, Samuel de Champlain wrote that he saw a lake monster 5 feet long, as thick as a man's thigh, with silver gray scales a dagger could not penetrate. The alleged monster
he try to stab it?
Well, hold on, we'll get there. The alleged monster had a 2.5-foot jaws and sharp and dangerous teeth.
How is it the size of a man's thigh, but also has 2.5-foot jaws?
It's a fish. It's just a big fish. It's a 5-foot-long fish. Like, think of like a barracuda jaw, like how it's long, but like not necessarily wide.
What kind of man's thighs are we talking about here?
No. The fish's circumference was like a man's thigh. Its length was 5 feet long.
Oh my god!
I mean, that's okay. So that is a large fish. However, like,
It's a weirdly proportioned fish.
it's also like not like the biggest fish.
Right,
Like,
5 feet. I have seen with my own eyeballs fish bigger than that. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, apparently Samuel de Champlain or somebody, like, I guess they saw this fish and were like, and they threw a dagger at it, and it like didn't go in. It like glanced off the scales. So like whether or not this is a true monster, a terror of the deep with an iron hide, or just like a fish he drunkenly saw and threw a knife toward it but did not actually sink.
Sir, do you see that monster over there? It's quite the big fish. Yes, sir. Yeah. I'll chuck my dagger at it.
His name was Champlain. You're supposed to do this in a French accent.
Oh, I shall chuck my dagger at it.
What a massive ass fish.
Clearly, I only have one course of action. Yeah.
It was either throw the dagger or my champagne.
I do have to say though, there was a very noticeable lack in merch and like general excitement over Champ.
Because even the locals are like, yeah, it was a big fish.
Well, I will say you could tell they kind of are, because none of the iconography and like imagery of this monster is consistent. So like you'll see shirts where it looks kind of like Nessie. You'll see shirts where it's just like a big old fucking snake. None of them are showing what the report was when it's just a big fucking fish. Like none of them are like, it's a pretty big fish he saw.
None of you have lived until you go to Loch Ness. Go to the Nessie Museum at Loch Ness, followed up by the very exciting boat ride hosted by a dude that sounds like Sean Connery.
I mean,
did he hit any women?
Yeah, because that's what Sean Connery would have done.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Tuesday. So.
Yeah. England is filled with famous women hitters. If you go to Scotland, it's Sean Connery. If you go to Liverpool, it's John Lennon. So it's pretty much their biggest export.
Just yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, Captain's Log Supplemental.
Yeah, this is a Star Trek rewatch podcast. As clearly, I am the only one who said it. Nobody else has mentioned it thus far. We are going chronologically through all of Star Trek. We are still in the first one, Enterprise, although we are working our way through. We're getting there.
Only 2 episodes left in this season.
And then just one more after that. That's it.
One more episode?
What's that?
Just one more episode?
Yeah, we're going to binge season 4 into
only.
one episode.
Oh, God. Please, no. That's so much Star Trek. Like, not even the good ones.
It's like 20 hours straight, yeah.
Oof. As a reminder to the audience, please rate and review, subscribe, leave ratings, 5 stars, all that good stuff. That helps us a lot. Please do it.
Someone left another rating on Spotify that is 5 stars. I am reaching out to you to say thank you. Although Spotify will not tell me, like, I don't know that you can write reviews on Spotify. I think you just give stars. So I cannot see, like, I can't shut them out by name, but we do very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. So yeah, today's episode is episode 22 of season 3, The Council. And we are kind of picking up where we left off. Sort of. We after a quick recap, we open up with a very disorienting cold open.
So I think, and this will be true throughout the episode, I think that their cameraman who owned the wheel tripod was sick for like a while, maybe like a paternity leave situation. But today he's back. Boy, do they be wheeling some fucking cameras around in this episode.
Yeah,
so many like camera wheeling.
So we're in, like, I guess, theoretical oatmeal space here, and
oatmeal space looks boring as shit.
It's very white. It's so white. It's blindingly white. Don't watch this episode in the dark because it will blind you. But yeah, we get these like weird swooping like camera angles as like various oatmeal space people are talking to each other about how things, while still on track, aren't going as well as they would like. And they're like, well, we got to do something about it, I guess.
I guess, like, don't they have time travel? What
Look, we're conveniently ignoring that plot point, okay?
All right.
As is the case with any time travel plot line, it can always be solved by additional time travel. They just stopped doing it after the first time.
That's why Primer was so good, because they decided that it couldn't be solved with more time travel.
So, like, I noticed something during the scene. I think every single one of, like, I'm assuming these are all the leaders of the sphere builders, right? Do they live in a matriarchy? Because I think they're all women.
They do all seem
I
to
did
be,
not
to
see...
feminine, at least.
I was going to say, I did not see a masculine presenting oatmeal space person, so I don't know.
Yeah, like the only one I think we've seen so
they
far
don't really,
was the prisoner that they threw into the experimental space oatmeal, and
I forgot about that
he
guy.
Died.
That is true. Yeah. He was presenting male at least, and they did refer to like that one that talks to the Zindi as she, so or her. I can't remember what they said, but yeah. So they do that weird camera scene, and then
we have no context as to who these people are, so they could be like the leaders of the mobile space, or they could be like the people who are on some like triple sub-level committee in some like back-ass like perfunctory government position.
Numbers.
Like we have no idea.
These are the Bene Gesserit of the sphere builders.
These are no. I'm like more like these are the PennDOT of the sphere builders. Like it's like we got to get this space all oatmealed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we after that scene, we come back to the Enterprise and Degra's ship, kind of just chilling. T'Pol is having a checkup with Phlox for her whatever that was called. I keep wanting to say like Tellaride, but that's
or
not
Trillium D addiction.
Trillium D, yeah. The Trillium D addiction. Trip, ignoring all HIPAA codes, immediately barges into the exam.
Well, to be fair, he comes into the sick bay, and Phlox and T'Pol are just having this discussion like on the first bed. Like it's not like
you're right. You're right. Phlox needs to get some privacy curtains or something.
Yeah, something, or like a light that's like if it's not an emergency, wait outside. I'm with a patient.
Right. Yeah.
Although like he's like, are you all right? She's like, it's a headache, nothing, goodbye. And then he's like, I thought Vulcans didn't get headaches. What? Vulcans don't get headaches? What the fuck?
Yeah, when did we learn this? I don't remember that at all.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Also, fun little background scene thing. Did you notice when Trip came in, the doors like bounced against each other and kind of opened up a little bit?
Oh no!
Yeah, prop fail there.
Well, or maybe the damage has made their motors fucked up and they haven't had time to fix that minor problem because they're still shooting sparks in engineering.
It's a very weirdly specific internal issue.
Hey, you got to use your imagination. So anyways, apparently Vulcans don't get headaches.
Yeah, apparently. As you said, T'Pol makes a hasty departure afterwards. And Phlox brushes off Trip's question about if T'Pol's been acting weird recently. So he at least maintained that part of the HIPAA code. Yeah, as I said, Trip pulled a muscle. He isn't convinced that the Zindi can be swayed, as he's just kind of having a chat with Phlox at this point. Phlox says he thinks Degra is reasonable, which of course Trip takes offense to because he didn't find him murdering his family reasonable.
I mean, Trip's got kind of a point here. It's hard to call a literal genocide engineer reasonable. Like,
yeah.
It was in perceived self-defense.
Yeah. Preemptive attacks are hard to justify self-defense for.
Preemptive attacks on civilian populaces.
Yeah, like it's like they just targeted a military base.
I mean, I understand it was just Florida, so whatever. But like, it's still a little uncalled for.
Still, just a little bit. Meanwhile, in I think the command center, T'Pol Archer and Degra are wanting to get scans of the sphere's inside. to help with the case to the council, because they're trying to, of course, move the council to convince them to prevent the deployment of the weapon now that it's finished. Reed ends up meeting with a Mako. We have a quick little conversation here.
Man,
about
they go.
The Makos.
They go hard on the rotary camera for this scene. This camera is bopping about the entire fucking room with Reed and this guy. A scene that it seems to exist just to give this dude a name so that he could die later.
Yep. It is 100% the only reason. Which, by the way, that whole little plot thread, why is that in this episode?
I can't even call it a B plot. It was just like
it was
like an Easter egg plot that got mentioned in the background. It was so weird.
Malcolm's actor was complaining about not having enough dialogue in the last few episodes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, fucking wheelie cam guys I got the perfect fucking setup for this scene.
So it was kind of perfect because I just finished reading Red Shirts, and oh my god, this entire episode is basically just Red Shirts embodied in Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, that's an interesting point. That's a good point. I like that.
Yeah, so we find out the Mako zero-G credentials. Reed says, you're on the team that's going to go, explore the sphere so they can get some scans. Degra is talking about sending Enterprise info when Oatmeal Space Lady pops into his chambers. Or it was the bridge, I think, actually. She pops in, of course, uninvited. And Degra dismisses his subordinates so he can have a little private conversation with Oatmeal Space Lady.
Degra's subordinate super into Oatmeal Lady, man. He was ready to die for her.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Dismissed. She's trying to convince Degra to, quote unquote, come back using various stupid platitudes. What have we ever done to deserve you? Bloody, 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 bloody. Degra says she never deserved his faith. So at least he seems to be sticking with his current course of action, not waffling at all.
So we get the first. So, and this is a complaint I have throughout this episode, that the things that they do in terms of the political intrigue of the Xindi are actually really good. And I wish they had spread them out over more episodes rather than cramming all of them into this one.
Yeah.
And the first one of those is right here when she says, it's because of me that your people who were spread across the stars after your war managed to get back together and put the council together. That is a fascinating, peek into why the Xindi give a shit about these people. Because until now, we had no information.
Reason. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is almost like it's clearly that they didn't plan this until later, because there was the one episode where Archer's like, hey, I'm going to convince the council, and the council's like, why should we trust Archer? And they're like, because he has proof which she hasn't provided. And it's like, okay, what a weird conversation for someone who clearly was the spearhead of saving your entire species from annihilation. That should have been what they were talking about there. But they obviously hadn't written this part yet, so they didn't see that far ahead. So I really wish, this is the first time, and it's going to happen a couple more times in this episode, where I'm like, fuck, I want this to be a whole episode. Or I want this to breathe. This needs to be something we learned episodes ago, you know?
Yeah.
But we all learn it all right here.
Yep. So despite that, Durga says, they never deserved his faith, and he's sticking with him. Degra then has a chat with Archer about how the various other races within the Xindi will react.
Here comes that camera guy again.
So yeah,
it's these weird flashbacks to each species.
Cutaways to each species. Yeah. I don't it was just it was some very specific choices for the camera shots on this one.
It was
for
so
sure.
wild. Do we know who directed this?
Oh man, I just was going to look that up.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly.
Hold on, I've got it all on this chart here. David Livingston. Okay, so this is the Impulse guy. That actually tracks, because there's a lot of photography angles on this that he's generally pretty heavy on. I think he went a little too thick on this one. I think they should have backed off just a touch.
I think he treated this as a camera shot experiment, basically.
There is one really good one.
Yes, I also agree that there is one really good one that I had called out.
We'll get to that later.
Well, I'm curious as to if you're talking about the same one now.
That's going to be a fun little reveal.
Okay. Yeah, so we get these cutaways because as Degra's kind of introducing the leaders of the various races, he says the Arboreals will believe, but the others may not, because of how the Oatmeal Space people have helped the Zindi after their world exploded. They're basically revered as gods. Quick trivia note here: we actually had this conversation in the last episode about how the primate leader guy doesn't get a name.
Right.
So, by the way, quite the name for the aquatic one, Kiafet Amensor.
The aquatic got a name?
Yeah, the aquatic got a name. The arboreal got a name. They mentioned that the Zindi insectoid counselor has his name's too long and difficult because as they get older, I guess their names get longer, which is a funny concept.
That's fun. Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah.
That is fun.
Although apparently novelizations of Enterprise use the name Shresht for the insectoid Zindi.
Right.
But maybe Tucker Smallwood is the guy who plays the unnamed, Zindi primate counselor guy. And apparently he came up with his own name since he never got one.
Oh no,
that's amazing, but also sad as shit.
Yeah, Deepak or Depac, Deepak, after Deepak Chopra. I don't know what that is named after.
Deepak Chopra, yeah.
Chopra, yeah.
Oh wait, I know that person. I know of that person. I don't know them personally. Yeah, they're an author. I'm trying to remember what they wrote. Yeah. They may have read something by this person. I've definitely heard this before.
But apparently the novelizations give his character the name Melora.
Isn't he like a new age guy?
Oh shit, he is. Yeah, so all the things I heard about him were probably very bad.
Okay.
So yeah. We get that breakdown and Archer says, "Oh, it's fine. I've stood before a Klingon tribunal. I can handle a tough room." Oh yeah. So yeah, Archer's saying he could take a tough room.
Because he handled the Klingons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Degra says he'll be there with Archer when they address the council to support him all the way. So he's very committed. Shortly after that,
I like how Degra's like explaining the reptilian. The reptilian's just like grandpa of the year. He's like, yeah, his grandson had a lame arm, so he fucking murdered him.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
And then we cut to the silliest like reptilian heat lamp room that has ever existed.
Hey, Dolan is getting a sweet fucking tan, man.
I understand the reptilians, they got like heat lamps or whatever, but do they have to be like crappy mounted heat lamps pointing at like this weird table thing that's upright? Like it was just bizarre.
Oh, man.
It was pretty funny.
Do you think their ships are just uncomfortably warm for everyone else?
Probably. The aquatic ships have got to be heavy as shit.
Yeah, man.
Like launching water into space? Good God.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
The impulse engines on those things must be ridiculous.
Yeah, so Dolan, while he's getting his tan, is notified that a reptilian ship was destroyed. This is the one that Degra blew up after it found, them and Enterprise hanging out in the sphere area. They're then notified of Enterprise and Degra ship's approach to the Council. Degra says he's escorting the Enterprise to the Council and tells Dolan to back down or he'll be destroyed. He fires a torpedo at him to let him know he's serious. And eventually Dolan agrees to let them come. In the council, the shuttle pod goes to while they're doing that, the shuttle pod goes to investigate the sphere to get their scans. Archer goes with Hoshi to the council meeting. Degra and Hoshi kind of prep Archer on the way down for how to handle the different races.
So, okay. This is one of those moments where, like, the writer had ideas and didn't, it felt like they grabbed ideas out of a bag and, like, they mixed them up. because they're talking about the different species and like how they're culturally different and how they value people who speak up or quick decisions, et cetera, et cetera. Fine, no problem, got it. Okay, so but then they're like, okay, so remember when you're talking da 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 da, but those the ideas for how the different species are and how you have to confront those species don't match. Because they're like, the aquatic species take forever to make decisions. This is like, they're like the Ents from Lord of the Rings.
Right.
But then he also says, like, when you're talking to the aquatics, you have to be bold and forward and, like, loud and, like, quick to decide. I'm like, what? No, that doesn't match up. And then the insects were explicitly said to be, like, so eager to, like, grab glory for themselves that they're very brash, and that was the whole thing about their names and stuff. It's like they jump into decisions as soon as they can because they want to live a glorious life. But also they value soft-spoken tones that are like, kind of timid, and that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like,
they didn't value soft-spoken tones. It was that they thought that loud noises were signs of aggression.
Loud noises. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I they're just trying to add flavor to it. It's whatever. It doesn't end up mattering whatsoever at all.
Oh no, it has no bearing. Archer just archers through the whole thing.
Yep. Yeah, he chooses to when he walks in, and we do before I wanted to. We do get a peek at ancient avian architecture, apparently, where the council is meeting.
Yeah, cliffside buildings are always cool as shit.
They are. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Archer and Degra enter the council chamber. Dolan says, explain the human presence, so I'm going to murder them. Which, I mean, sure. Archer decides to open with, you murdered my people. Which, I mean, they know that already.
It's a bold tactic, yeah. But and like their faces are pretty much like, yeah, we know, we were there. Because
it's like, what is your point? We did that on purpose.
Also, the council tables in this room look completely fucking useless. They're like weirdly layered and have like steps to them and shit, and it's like not like you can't fit a single piece of paper on them.
Yeah, it's all aesthetic, I guess. Archer proceeds to call the Guardians, I guess is how we're referring to them now, the Oval Space people. Liars. The Insectoids get mad. Dolan says Archer reeks of desperation. They're not believing Degra either.
The reptilian or the insectoid yells some shit at Archer, and Hoshi like translates it is like, you don't want to know. Like,
right.
Hoshi, this is your one job. You're the worst fucking interpreter right now. Tell him what he said.
Dolan accuses Degra of destroying his ship. Or at least attacking his ship. That's right. He accuses of destroying it later. But the council says it's not relevant to get back to the subject at hand. Dolan says, we just got to take the Enterprise immediately. Degra says no. The reptilians leave the council in protest.
It's like, do you think this was the point where one of the insectoids just like chucks Archer across the room?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Do you think that the insectoid Zindies have like that crazy strength to weight ratio that like Earth ants do?
Maybe, but like
the one thing we learn in Star Trek is that everybody's stronger than humans.
That's,
I guess.
Until they're not. Until when there actually has to have a fight, and then they're like equally matched.
Well, then they're subject to the same amounts of plot strength that all characters are.
Sure. So, the reptilians leave the council in protest, probably with the insectoids as well. Meanwhile, at the sphere, T'Pol decides to make everyone shit their pants as she directs them through a holographic
Why didn't she
covered entryway. Just tell them.
What
like,
the fuck?
It's a hologram. Listen, you can fly right through it. Just say that.
She's experimenting with her emotions, and this seemed fun at the time.
All right, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. If she had like turned to them and gone like "yeehaw," like great, perfect scene, no notes.
Man. During recess of the council, we hear that the Guardians showed a vision of humans destroying the Xindi to convince the Aquatics that to join the council and everything, and go for destroying the humans. We get a look at the avian skull, which apparently is a juvenile giraffe.
Oh, okay. It looked like a leaf eater. Like I couldn't figure out exactly what it was, but it looked. Although, like, that's a wild thing to just have on display. The skull. Like, can you imagine if you just had a human skull in your council chamber?
Yeah, that would. Yes, that's very weird. Dolan meets with the Commander Dolan of the Reptilians meets with Oatmeal Space Lady, and she says they need to secure the weapon. Doesn't matter if it's going to cause a civil war between the other Xindi, and guarantees reptilian dominance if the humans die. So we're full on, doesn't matter actually what happens to you as long as you kill the humans.
Reptilian's gonna reptilian.
Yeah, well, the insectoids are there for the fun as well. So on the Enterprise, Phlox is giving Degra some help with something for the Council, like some scans of the various the Oatmeal Space person they found. Trip is assigned to help Degra, and they have a little moment in the hallway here where Degra
This is
just
it,
says,
Rob. Was this it?
It's
the camera work I was talking about.
No, this is later.
This is the camera follows them out of sickbay and into the hall for this scene, and it's really well done.
Yeah. Oh, I did note that, but no, that's not the shot I was thinking of.
Because at this point, Trip is still giving him attitude about everything, and Degra's like, "Listen here, you little shit. I'm risking everything. I know I fucked up before. I can't change that, but I'm risking my life and everything else to help you at this point. So just fucking work with me." And Trip just is like, "Yeah, okay."
Well, all I can say now is that that's the end of this scene, so I'm just going to say it.
Back on the sphere, the away team is approaching the center of it when we see something come out of the walls.
Gladys.
As a little bit of foreshadowing.
Travis is just in the shuttle pod keeping an eye on his dots.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Don't you be aggravating my dots."
Which a little trivia scene thing had a note here, which makes a lot of sense. Travis is in the shuttle, no suit on. Yeah. There's no airlock in that shuttle.
No, he's dead.
That's fine.
How did they get in and out?
The interior of the spheres are pressurized.
No, they're not, because they have.
They're not, because they're wearing EVA suits. The crew is.
I have a question.
No, yeah, we have a different. You know what? I'm gonna say that maybe because how there's a microwave on the shuttle pod. Maybe the microwave doubles as if you stick your head in here while the door's open, you can breathe until the door closes.
Oh my god! I have a different question.
Yep.
Do you think did this episode come out after Portal 1 had already released? Because I really think that the arms of the sphere look like GLaDOS.
Portal came out in late 2004 because it was part of the Orange Box for Half-Life 2.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Which came out when I was a freshman in college.
Yeah.
Wow, sorry, honey, don't get too turned on by my incredible knowledge there. Jesus Christ.
Boosh.
And I believe this was early 2004 was this episode, if not late 2003.
Okay.
I think 2004 is right. Are you checking?
I wasn't. No, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize.
It's May 12th, 2004.
Okay.
There you go. So yeah, we flash back. Degra says we get back to Enterprise, and Degra says their work was completed quickly thanks to Trip's efforts. So Trip obviously is decided to kind of at least go along with it for now. Archer tells Degra about humans and Xindi. In the future of the Federation. And
maybe I'm wrong, but didn't Degra already know that? Wasn't that the whole thing where he handed him the coin or whatever to show the council?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Degra acted like this is the first he's ever heard of this, and I was like, then what the fuck did that coin prove?
Shut up, that's what.
Oh,
Shut
okay.
up.
Also, we find out that Archer was, he only ever once got called to the principal's office for passing a note because he's a fucking loser.
More importantly, Hoshi was never called to the principal's office, which we know.
Yeah, we know.
Of course.
And then he's like, she turned me down for the prom or whatever. But then after I got called to the principal's office, she suddenly couldn't get enough of me. And she's like, some women can't resist the bad boys. Fucking hate this show.
Yep. Archer and Hoshi go back to the council to show their evidence of the sphere builders. The Aquatics say, you presented this info already. Archer says, but not all of it. Which is basically just this biometric hologram that they rigged up using Zindi technology and the Enterprise's data on the Oatmeal Space person that they captured.
It did seem like an odd thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wait, to be fair, they decided to commit genocide because someone showed them a YouTube video.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's a good point. I like how the one's like, is this a Guardian? The other one's like, yeah, it looks like Voldemort, so it pretty much checks out, yeah.
Yeah, and then the other is like, well, how could we know this is not fabricated? And Degra's like, because it's not. Shut up.
Because the humans are too stupid to fabricate this, is literally what he said.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Arboreals and Aquatics admit that, yep, that's a Guardian. Dolan says they are open to hearing more, surprisingly. They're all of a sudden going along with it. It's definitely not because they're plotting something at all.
Again, God, good political maneuvering condensed into 2 fucking minutes. Like, let this play out. Like, this whole shit would have made like a Game of Thrones season. Like, this is good stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Back on the sphere, they remove something from kind of the core area, and
it's one of those storm chaser games from Chuck E. Cheese. Like, that's.
They're attacked by the aforementioned GLaDOS arm.
My note here is, oh no, that guy.
It's a big fucking arm that just evaporates poor Mako guy. Just picks him up.
Vaporized.
And it's like turns him to dust. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, and Paul reacted the fuck out of watching that disposable dude get disintegrated.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to climb up here, get closer to it. I have a gun, but I need to get closer. And then he gets grabbed and disintegrated, and then everybody else runs away.
To be fair to I have a gun, I can get closer. He didn't know what it was or where it was. He just knew that it was coming from that direction because Travis is like, there's movement to your northeast or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but
so I think he was just climbing up to get a better vantage. Now, how did they not see the enormous snake of robot arm coming towards them? That I can't help you with.
Travis was like, it's 200 meters away. It's 100 meters away. It's 15 meters away. And then the Mako's like, oh, I think I see it now.
It's not like it's
15 meters is less than 50 feet.
It's a well-lit area.
Yeah. They're in the center of an open sphere.
And nothing's moving. Like, it's completely dead inside.
Mm-hmm. So after Mako Redshirt dies, they escape, I guess. Luckily, Travis comes in and blows it up with the shuttle.
Fucks that thing up super good.
But he does know more arms, I guess, are on the way. Like, do you think they get like tangled up as they're going? Back on Enterprise, Degra informs Archer the reptilians have agreed to postpone the weapons launch. Hooray! That's the end of the episode.
I'm not a technical engineer kind of guy, but like, it feels like just shooting sparks willy-nilly across engineering is a bad plan.
No, it's fine.
Because there was an extra back there who's just laying on that spark cannon.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Everybody's like, well, I guess everything's great. We'll celebrate. Yay. Trip begrudgingly acknowledges Degra's efforts in making it happen. Meanwhile, a little bit later, Degra is approached in his, I guess, quarters or whatever, or the council recess room or whatever it is.
My note here is Degra's about to get cacked.
I was just like, everybody knew exactly what was going to happen when this scene started.
Again,
so Stanford,
good scene.
This shot is the scene I was talking about.
Yeah. This one is pretty
you see the
good. Shadow
of the reptilian, like, because you see all those little like hair fronds.
Right.
Like,
Again, good scene. Good politics. Good, interesting. Like, I'm not going to wait for the courts. I'm going to take my justice now because he's also in the way of what he wants to do. Great thing. Stretch this shit out. Give us this over episodes.
after watching the last scene and then immediately switching over to this scene, I wrote down, wow, the actor that plays Degra is actually really good. I hope we get to see more of him.
I mean, for a scene, you do.
So, while we're focused on Degra's face, what do we think the humanoid Zindi cheek vents are for?
They don't sweat, so that's how they get rid of the heat.
Sperm.
Ew.
I don't think those ideas are mutually exclusive. just the hottest coming out of the little cannon shooters on their face.
They just that's how they reproduce. They just sweat on each other.
It's like one of those hot fudge nozzles at like a self-serve ice cream. Just
oh god. Oh, that's horrendous. Oh, I hate all of this conversation now. I'm sorry I contributed. So yeah, as we've alluded to here, Degra is approached by Dolan. Dolan proceeds to say some racist stuff about the avians dying, and then straight up murders Degra with a knife.
My notes are, Degra about to get cacked. Next note, and there it is.
My note is Dolan is a dick.
Yeah, Dolan then proceeds to whisper sweet nothings about murdering his entire family into Degra's ear as he dies.
Yeah, he got extra douchey there right at the end.
We did already highlight Dolan's proclivity for murdering children, both in this episode and previous ones. So, I mean, it really is on par for his character.
Yeah, well, but Trip likes to murder children too, so what's the difference?
Yeah, but ugly insectoid alien children, that's
damn,
different.
Chris, that's fucking racist.
Stomp them babies.
You were on Team Baby Stomper a couple episodes ago. Where was I?
Dolan is a dick.
Trip. Yeah. So after that, Trip chats with Phlox about their apparent success.
I have this quote from Phlox, which is basically, "Fuck yeah, I love snacks."
Trip is trying to reconcile his feelings about, Degra and his family, and now Degra helping them. He got used to the anger he had, but glad that everything's working out. Right after that, Archer is awakened by a named primate guy.
By Deepak, yeah.
By Deepak. By the news of Degra being murdered. No intro to this conversation. No, I have bad news. Just
good stuff.
Screen on, Degra's been murdered.
Good stuff. Spread it out. We need to spread this shit out because it's good stuff.
Back at the Sphere in the shuttle, Reed has his meltdown we alluded to earlier about losing people, and then everybody's like, yeah.
Okay, Reed, stop being a little bitch is my note here.
It's like out of nowhere. Like look.
That's the problem. That's the problem. It's like he's not, because his point in the scene is like, when did losing people become so normal that we're over it within a few minutes? Which is like, fair. Like, that's a fair question. But like, you can't just say that out of fucking nowhere, man. We have to see the character like having to struggle with it.
Right, like a scene with you and him earlier talking about his qualifications does not.
Right.
That's not enough built up for
Didn't
this
even
reaction.
tell us how it was like the last mission before he retires or anything compelling,
Right.
Like he should have like complained like we can't even bring the body back for his parents or something.
Or give us scenes where, and this is something that Star Trek never does, but like give us scenes where like he wants something to happen. And he is like, hey, why didn't, let's say like, why didn't the pistol checks get happened this morning to some subordinate? And the subordinate's like, oh, Smith was in charge of that and he got blown out into space last week during the fight. And then like Reed's like, fuck. And like, just that like realization that's like, oh shit, this is not non-dangerous, and we're like losing people, and like it's weighing on him, Yeah. And like the people who are left have to pick up the slack, and like any of this.
Right.
But no, it's just like you're good enough for 0G combat training, excellent, and then we lost to people. What the fuck, man? Like slamming shit in the fucking shuttle pod.
Yeah, it was just like once again, the idea in and of itself, not terrible.
Sure.
It's just like,
but it's just kind of crammed into an episode that's full of so much other shit going on.
Right.
And it's like,
either move it to another episode where you have more room for that B plot, or don't do it.
Right.
Like, it's just silly.
They had so many other story threads they could have followed as a B plot for this episode. Like,
I'm gonna be honest.
I kept expecting them.
Plot.
Right.
Yeah,
like, I kept expecting them to like get that core out and then bring it, and like it was the final piece of evidence that pushed everybody over.
I thought that too. I thought they were going to be stalling in order to let them get that.
I assume it plays into the next episode.
Sure. But I guess the B plot for this episode should have been the reptilians conspiring to kill Degra. That's the B plot. Like, we don't need all this other shit. We didn't need to see the sphere. We don't need any of this. Like, give us this stuff that's good and like let us actually see it.
So is this the deep dive or?
No, we're not there yet. No, we're a few lines left of the summary. We're just complaining about Star Trek Enterprise in general at this point.
Like, it's just another situation where like it could have been awesome.
Even when it's good, it still misses the mark. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So T'Pol just gives them the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Spock platitude. And we move on. In the council, Dolan says the reptilians have seized the weapon and says either you stand with them or against them.
This is the part where I asked, like, do they not have like courts? Because like Dylan's like, I murdered that guy and I do it again. Fuck you. And everyone's like, well, that's the thing he did. Let's move on. Like, what the fuck?
Nope. No. No enforcement whatsoever.
To be fair, I mean, the reptilians blew up their home planet, right? Like,
I think it was
are we just supposed to assume that?
Was the insectoids, I think? Or insectoids and reptilians?
I was under the impression pretty distinctly that like all of the Xindi species took like blame for it because the war itself just got out of hand and they were using these crazy bombs. I don't remember it specifically being put on the shoulders of one of them.
Well, I mean, clearly they haven't learned anything since then, though.
Well, and I mean, to your point, Rob, like that's kind of the reptilian guy's motivation is like, this shit ain't working. Let's do it this way instead. It's that kind of fascism versus democracy argument where like, there are compelling arguments for fascism in that like decisions get made quickly and there's a unification of the people and all this other shit. That's like why it's so addictive and enticing, even though it's fucking terrible, And so like this, again, great shit. Let's fucking let's dive in. But we don't. We get like 5 minutes of everything in this episode and then we call it a day.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have done like a whole Xindi only episode. Like they've done stuff like that in other series. Great. Like they could explore all of that in an episode and it would be good. But yeah, so the reptilians say, fuck you guys, you're with us or against us. The insectoids join them, everybody else is like, fuck off. We're not doing what you say.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Exactly. Unnamed guy says they can't launch without 3 codes. They only have 2 with the insectoids and the reptilians. Dolan says something foreboding about, you don't think we've thought of that. And then the scene ends. On Enterprise, Archer is notified of ships approaching from the surface. Then the weapon is launched. We get it kind of opening out of the planet's butthole.
It's the worst CGI door I've ever seen. It was so stupid.
It's so weird because, like, it's so starkly contrasted against the space battle that happens next.
Mm-hmm. On the back on the shuttle, Travis detects the hubbub going on at the planet. And then we get lots of pew-pews happening. So a little fun little CG sequence of, Enterprise and the allied Xindi going after the weapon and the insectoids and reptilians.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was fun little CG scene. And during that, though, Dolan's like, go after the Enterprise. And then they attack Enterprise and are able to beam Hoshi off of Enterprise.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Never trust anyone that refers to women as females is the answer.
Sorry. Okay. Well, I no longer have 2 questions. When did the Xindi get transporters?
Yes.
Cool.
Future Lady gave it to them.
Just to Dolan? Like, only Dylan got the fucking transporters.
It
fucking
only
Dylan.
exists on the super weapon.
You know, I knew he was a douche. His name's fucking Dylan. God damn it. Yeah, so I guess like the implication is that they took Hoshi because she's going to give them the third key. Although I'm genuinely curious what they mean by that, because like it's like a password. What the fuck is Hoshi gonna do for them?
I'm trying to remember back, and it's some type of, I think, like decoding of things based on alien languages or some shit. I don't remember.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you know what? That makes sense actually, because when I try to log into my email, I have to do a fucking riddle.
Yeah,
I was thinking that like it was the name of Degra's kids, and they might know that Hoshi knows who those kids are.
No, it's much dumber than that.
Okay.
Well,
that's fine then.
They escape into the quote unquote vortex, and Travis says they lost him, and cliffhanger episode ending. So yeah, well, let's get right into the ratings. 0 or 1, score 1 to 5, 0 is threshold. Where are we at, guys?
I gave this one a 4. I do agree that it fell short in a lot of parts. That
you would.
I wish, I agree with you, Stanford. Like, I really wish that they had taken the time to explore and expand on a lot of these ideas, but I did like the episode overall.
No, don't try to agree with me at the end there and apologize for that shit. Like, what the hell, man? I also gave it a 4.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought that. So, like, I think that I want to. It's one of those things where it's like I'm glad I'm rewarding them for some storytelling that was good, even though it's like it's not like they're gonna go change some shit, like whatever. But like the political intrigue, the storylines that were told, minus the Reed B plot that was so fucking unnecessary, were good. They were well done. I wish they had just. It would have been so much better to see this stuff spread out and given room to like breathe and like ferment and like be tasty. But instead we get it all crammed in here. So like this episode ended up being, you know, pretty good in terms of the show, but like it's too bad because they have the stuff to make some really, really good stories right here, but they crammed it all into this like episode. It's like they had like all these all these ingredients to make 1,000 fabulous desserts, but what they did was make one good dessert, and then they never did it again, you know?
Yeah, I think I ended up at a 4 as well. It was an enjoyable episode. I liked it. There was interesting things happen, fun CG as well. Yeah, it was generally good. Not great, but good, but pretty good.
IMDb gave this a 5.
That's not surprising. This is actually this episode and the next one were actually Emmy nominated.
Crazy.
For visual effects. But hey, actually...
I bet it was that wheelie camera maneuvers.
Yeah. That will lead me into our deep dive when we come back. All right, welcome back. So, as I alluded to before the break, our deep dive today is on the kind of Emmy Awards that Star Trek has been both nominated and won. As I noted, this episode we just talked about was Emmy nominated for visual effects. But
am I a stupid person if I ask you please to explain what the Emmys are first?
So the Emmy Awards have been presented annually by the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences since 1949. For basically the best various categories of U.S. television. So it is a strictly television award. Okay. This is kind of the most prestigious television awards. There's obviously lots out there, but that's kind of like one of the big ones. You know, the Emmys is television, the Oscars is movies. They're kind of the equivalents in that area.
And Grammys are music.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Tonys are stage.
Or theater, right? Okay, because it's EGOT, right? Yep. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
So
sorry, I don't follow awards very often, so like
I don't either, but I thought it was interesting that this one and the next episode were both Emmy nominated this year. The next one actually, Countdown, actually beat out this one. because they were nominated in the same, visual effects category.
Interesting.
Star Trek television kind of proper as a total have won 38 Emmy Awards out of 185 nominations, spanning from 1967 through 2024. There was also...
Given that there are like 700 episodes of the show, I feel like that's actually not that great.
There's 2 additional nominations for kind of a Star Trek adjacent program, which was like a television documentary, and a 2018 special award win for the entirety of the television franchise. Let's see here. Of the 7 Star Trek television shows, Next Generation has been nominated and won the most, 18 wins out of 58 nominations. It is good to note here that is probably part of the fact that they won and were nominated so much was they had less competition at the time in the technical categories in particular, which is by far what Star Trek in general has been nominated the most for. In fact, almost all of their stuff are kind of the technical categories and not the major categories. And so, like, technical categories, we're talking visual effects, sound editing, costumes, various special effects.
Things that Star Trek is famously heavy on.
Right, exactly.
Makeup. I bet you
go
makeup.
Ahead. Yeah, makeup. There was makeup and costume design. I think those are rolled into one, actually, for the Emmys. Where was I? Yeah, as I was saying, most of them most of the nominations and wins have been in the technical categories, predominantly VFX, visual effects, followed by prosthetics and makeup. Really, Star Trek dominated in those fields in that kind of, that 90s to early 2000s era. Unfortunately, what you might refer to as the Berman era. Would you like to take a guess at the show, the Star Trek show that is the only one to have won one of the major awards that wasn't
was
like
it Picard?
technical?
Tell me which award it was.
It was okay. This is actually going to narrow it down quite a bit for you. Outstanding Entertainment Children's Series.
Oh, Prodigy.
Prodigy?
It was not Prodigy. Think farther back.
So, like, animated series?
It was the animated series, yes. In 1974. It was nominated in 1975. It won Outstanding Entertainment Series. Entertainment Children's Series. Because it was animated. Even though I don't... Have either of you watched the animated series? I haven't watched enough to say
I've seen
a children's series.
A single episode, and it is more juvenilely targeted than the original series, yes.
Yep, it was a daytime Emmy Award in the category for Outstanding Entertainment Children's Series in 1975. There is some other nominations as well. The original series and Next Generation were both nominated for Outstanding Dramatic Series or Outstanding Drama Series. That's the name of the awards, changed a little bit over time. TOS in its first 2 years was nominated for that award, and TNG in its last, but neither won. The only other Star Trek series to be nominated for an Emmy Award outside of the technical or artistic categories was Short Treks, which was nominated for Outstanding Short Form Comedy or Drama Series in 2020.
Did they say which specific one, or just like the whole series?
That's a good question. Let me look. I think it's the entire series, but I'm double checking here. It's like a big long list. Short Trek Season 2 is what's listed, so it must be that like season of television for that series.
So, not to be this guy, but that is the season where 2 of them were directed by my cousin.
Really?
That's fun.
Yeah, Mark Pellington, yeah. So have you ever seen the Mothman Prophecies?
Yes.
Yeah.
He directed that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Have you ever seen Arlington Road, which was what was that?
I've not seen it. I'm familiar with it, though.
It's a good. It's actually a really good movie. He directed that as well.
Where was I? Oh, here. This was a fun note. Apparently, one of the kind of VFX crew that worked on Star Trek for a long time noted that actually Scott Bakula was the only cast member who ever took the time to congratulate the VFX staff in person with their wins for the series.
Huh.
Well, broken clocks.
For what it's worth, I've heard Scott Bakula is a very nice man to work with and is great to a lot of people.
Okay.
He seems like a nice guy.
No matter how much you dislike his portrayal.
I'm gonna be honest, so my issue with Scott Bakula is that I don't think he is a very good actor, but that has no bearing on him as a person. And the character is shit, but that's not his fault,
Hmm.
Archer is a douchebag. He is a fucking unrelenting douchebag.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great. Sorry, I'm jumping around here between my notes.
Mariah's like, should we get Mark Pellington on as a special guest? Absolutely. As soon as we get some fucking listeners, I can do that. I can get that man on the podcast. But I am not wasting actual talent on the before we actually have some people listening to this thing.
Yeah. Also of note in 2022, the debut of the Children's and Family Emmy Awards, which is just kind of an evolution, I guess, of the Daytime Emmy Awards. Its inaugural nominee lineup saw the inclusion of the first season of Star Trek Prodigy in 2 categories, which did include Outstanding Animated Series. Basically, it once again, it's the animated shows that are getting kind of the nods and the more major awards and not the technical ones, which, for the purposes of that type of award makes sense since it is all animated. You would think that they would be good about getting those types of awards.
I'm surprised that Lower Decks hasn't won any.
Lower Decks was nominated. Let me find it.
It's going to be nominated for a comedy award.
There's lots of other awards that they did get nominated for. However, I don't think they've actually been nominated for an Emmy at all. Critics' Choice Awards, NAACP Awards. Let's see here. What's this one? Saturn Awards. It
has 2 nominations for Outstanding Sound Editing for a Comedy or Drama Series. And the same again, one in 2021 and one in 2024.
There you go. Oh. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they surprisingly did get nominated. There was only actually been a couple years since Star Trek has been around where they have not gotten nominated, any of the shows, while there was a show running, has not gotten nominated for an award. Let me find it. Oh, this is great. This is great. Great podcasting right here.
This is good audio content, yeah.
Shit, I was also going to note that as far as actors go, because there is individual actor awards in the Emmys, of course, Leonard Nimoy is the only one who's actually ever been nominated for any of the awards, and it was for supporting actor in a drama or series, and he was nominated 3 times, but he never won. Yes, here it is. Of the main live action shows, let's see here. Oh, no, I'm good at this. Sorry, I'm cruising through articles. God damn it. 20. No?
I am on the edge of my seat.
God damn it. I had a note on this and I forget where it was. Fuck it. Just cut all this shit out.
Yeah. It's easy to cut out silence. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that is a brief history of Emmy Awards for Star Trek. As noted, there's lots of other awards they've been nominated for, but that's kind of the major television one. Lots of nominations, not so many wins, and mostly in visual effects and other technical categories. So yeah.
Cool.
Cool. When we come back, we will get some potpourri from Rob.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So for potpourri this week, I have delved back into the deepest dungeons of Reddit and I found a very fun post that I've turned into a little game for us.
Oh no.
So like you said, Potpourri, and that lines up with Reddit, so continue.
Potpourri. So for the name of the post coming from Boring Concentrate 74 is rename a Star Trek episode to a clickbait YouTube title.
Oh god.
Oh, that's okay. To be fair, that's kind of fun.
Oh yeah, this is super fun. So I thought we could.
Are you gonna read the YouTube clickbait titles? We're gonna tell you the episode.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's a good game. That's a good game. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. I'm going to be okay with just giving me the gist of the episode. You don't have to give me the actual title of the episode, but if you do, maybe bonus point.
Will these all be Enterprise?
It is not all Enterprise.
Okay, that's gonna be harder then.
Yeah, there's. I've hit.
I have never known
New Trek. It looks like
I have never known as many title episodes as I do of Enterprise now because of this podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can give me the name of the episode, a couple of these you are definitely going to know the title of the episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll go back and forth. Let's start with Stanford.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So the first title: How many lights do you see? 99% get this wrong.
So the gist is that Picard he was captured and being interrogated by a Cardassian guy. What is the name of that episode? Is that Chain of Command?
Oh my god, it is. You got it.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's 2 points for Stanford.
99% get this wrong. That's so fucking funny.
What's funny is I feel like that title references like the other half of that story, which I
do not remember. I'm gonna be honest.
That's the one with Jellicoe on the Enterprise and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he's taken over for Picard while he's on the second mission that he gets captured. So.
All right, Chris. This chief engineer's wife's mind was invaded by an alien. What happens next will shock you.
I mean, it's the one where the Pa Wraith takes over Keiko.
Yeah, it is.
DS9, yeah. I don't remember the name of it. What was the name of the episode?
Stanford, do you know? Or do you want to take a guess?
Yeah, it's something ominous or like dark. It was like...
I don't think that this is ominous or dark.
Oh, okay. Then I'm thinking of a different episode title, so no, I don't know.
The title was The Assignment.
Okay.
Sounds pretty ominous to me. I don't know.
All right, Stanford. Remember Seska? You won't believe what she looks like now.
Okay, so that's Voyager. So the problem is, I won't believe where she was. So this is the episode where Seska shows back up, and is starting to look more like a Cardassian again because she's reverting her like genetic stuff. She's with the leader of the bad people that they were hanging out that they were dealing with at the beginning of Voyager.
Kazon, right?
Kazon, thank you. God, the name of that episode, I can't even imagine what the name would be. I don't know.
All right, Chris, do you know the name of the episode?
No.
Okay. It's State of Flux, but you do have the episode right.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Packlids hate this one simple trick.
You said it's not new Trek, it's just the old stuff?
Yeah, nothing from New Trek.
Okay.
All right, so this is the one where the Packlids take Geordi and...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yep, and because they needed an engineer, and he is smart. Oh, God.
God, what a fucking hate crime that episode was.
It doesn't hold up well.
All right, guess on the name?
No idea.
Stanford.
Things to make us go.
No.
Make us go.
It's called The Samaritan Snare.
Okay.
All right, Stanford. You won't believe how many years this Starfleet officer lived in just 25 minutes.
This is actually a couple different ones this could be.
I'm assuming it's Inner Light.
It is. Oh my god! And you got the name.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
That's a pretty famous one.
Like so far the TNG ones you've mentioned were the ones I happen to know the name of because they're just that fucking famous.
Yeah.
The other one it could have been I was thinking of was the one where O'Brien gets like a prison sentence and like lives in prison.
Oh yeah. That was a good one too.
Yeah.
That was a good one. All right, Chris. Watch what happens when I break warp 10.
Oh God. Voyager, why did you do this to us? Threshold.
Yep.
Nicely done.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right, Stanford. Our lives were a holodeck recreation created by Riker and other conspiracy theories iceberg.
Ooh.
Huh.
I actually know this one, I think.
Ooh, I may not. Hold on.
Huh.
Our lives. Okay, so it's one of the ones but created by Riker. Fuck, I might have to let Chris try to catch up here. I don't know.
All right.
Is it the finale of Enterprise?
It is. Do you know the title of the episode?
Fuck.
Oh no, I don't remember what it is.
I know that.
Do you want to pass back to Stanford?
No.
Yeah, take the physical challenge.
Why would I pass back to him? I gave him the answer.
I mean, like for the name of the episode for the bonus point.
No.
No. I won't take the point because he did give me the answer, but these are the Voyagers.
Yeah.
All right. Chris, I almost had an arranged marriage. Best friend fights me, and then in parentheses, emotional.
Oh, this is the TOS where Kirk fights Spock and we get the Ponfar fight, right?
It is. Do you know the name of the episode?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hold on. I've almost got it. It's right there. It's right fucking there.
It's not Ponfar.
No,
it's also not Spock's brain. That's a different episode.
Ah, fuck.
I know we've even talked about it. The name of
I know.
Yeah, I have talked about the name of this episode on the show.
God damn it! I know the name of this episode. Fuck! I lost it. Fuck! It's gone. Fuck.
Amok Time.
Yeah.
Amok Time. That's it. Amok Time. I almost said City on the Edge of Tomorrow, but I'm like, no. That's that other one. Yeah, Amok Time.
Yeah, that's the one where
God
he goes back to the past. Yeah.
All right, Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
This one is all in caps. Watch what happens when a gay clothier, a black man, and a Romulan debate war and politics.
Okay, so it's definitely the episode of DS9 where I'm assuming it's the one where they're fabricating the evidence against the Dominion, but I actually okay, I do not know the title of that one.
Oh, this is like a very famous DS9 episode. I'm actually we've talked about it. This is another one we've talked about on the show recently. A couple of times.
Yeah. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember we talked about it recently.
Okay.
I remember talking about it recently, yes, because we talked about it in the Conundrums deep
There's
dive.
only so much space in my brain.
In the Pale Moonlight.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, sure, okay.
All right. So you both are now tied at 6. There are 3 left.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Oh, snap.
I only have 6 points? I feel like I should have more than that, damn.
You front-loaded a lot?
But if there's one way to describe me, it's definitely front-loaded.
Chris.
Yes.
We found an old wrecked ship. You won't believe who we found in the transporter buffer.
Oh, this is one where they find Scotty in that on that Dyson sphere with the crash ship, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the episode?
I know I've heard it. No, I can't remember it.
Okay. Do you remember, Stanford?
Relics, baby.
It is Relics.
Yeah, okay.
To be clear, we are not giving bonus points if you don't guess the name of it, or if the other person guessed the name of the episode, right? Like that's what we've agreed on.
No, I thought I got points for that shit.
Oh, okay, shit.
No wonder I thought I had more than 6. God damn, I was cheating for you, Chris.
No, you said the last time that you weren't going to take it.
Yeah, that's because last time,
right? Because
I had already failed to answer it. Yeah.
Ah, okay. All right. Stanford.
Yes.
All in caps again. Exploring my grandmother's haunted house.
Oh, come on.
Okay. So it's Crusher fucks a ghost.
Yeah. In Space Scotland.
I have to fucking know the episode title. We've definitely mentioned it so many times.
And we've all watched the Up Is Not Down video.
Yes.
You
Shit.
want to pass to Chris?
Fuck. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Sub Rosa, baby.
Sub
Yeah, it
Rosa.
is.
Fuck, that's right.
All
So it's
right.
still tied then. Shit.
It is tied. Chris. Florida man causes diplomatic crisis. The tragic fallout.
What? The only Florida man I know is Trip.
Uh-huh.
What diplomatic crisis did he cause? Shit.
Oh, man.
What diplomatic crisis did he cause? Like, he
I-
acted like a shithead, but...
I am biting my hot finger so hard right now.
It definitely doesn't involve a chainsaw.
Well, that's the one that Archer caused, not Trip.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Like, I'm gonna hate myself, but I don't remember it. Like,
All right. Stanford.
Cogenitor, baby!
Yeah.
oh, I don't know. That's lame.
Oh, shit.
Oh, come on now.
I agree. It was lame. That was a shitty episode.
It was. I don't know why
Diplomatic
people rate it
crisis
so
seems
high.
extreme, but okay.
What would you call it?
I don't know, kerfuffle? I don't know.
A kerfuffle.
Like,
Well-
when I say diplomatic crisis, I think like between actual nations, not just like two ships.
It's Chris. It's clickbait. You're not gonna
Yeah.
click on something that says kerfuffle.
I don't know. I might. It's a
But,
fun
like,
word. I'm not going to lie. I would click on a kerfuffle or two.
Well, anyway, that wraps us up. So, Stanford, with that last question, you have taken the lead and won with 10 points to Chris's 8.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, man.
It was well
Fucking
fought.
congenitor.
Good job, gentlemen.
That was a good game, Rob. That was nicely
That
done.
was, yeah. That was
This was, I saw this post like 2 weeks ago, and Stanford, like you were just saying like, oh, you know, we're gonna be going to New York for a trip, and I was like, oh man, I gotta keep this in my back pocket.
I have an
This is pretty
idea. Actually, there'd be a good a good game would be the reverse of that, where like you get the episode and you have to come up with the title for the clickbait.
Yeah, yeah.
And whoever had the better one, that'd be a
That
good
was the
one,
other
too.
route I was considering, but like there were already so many responses back to this post. I was like, I'm just
Sure.
gonna farm this.
Sure, it's good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of Captain's Log Supplemental. As Chris forgot to mention at the top of the podcast,
I
please
didn't.
remember to.
I
What?
said it. Fuck you.
All right. Well,
That's
apparently
twice
I
you've
forgot
claimed
already.
I've forgotten it.
Please remember to like, subscribe, tell your friends about us. It helps spread the word and get us out to more ears and more Star Trek fans. Have a nice week, everybody.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Captain's Log Supplemental. You can follow us on Twitter at PodCLS or send us hate mail at podcls3@gmail.com.